guys, welcome to this episode,
92.
this installment, this
92.
Episode 2.
92.
plus 9.
Episode 9.
D2.
And this is the Raw review,
It is.
where we review Raw. And that's what we do, actually. So
Yeah, that's pretty much
It's
it.
pretty self-explanatory.
tell us what matches happened.
Okay. We had the New Day defeat the League of Nations once again to retain the tag team titles. We had Ryback defeat Sin Cara. We had Sami Zayn defeat The Miz. We had Team Bad defeat Team Bella in a tag team match. We had the Usos defeat the Social Outcasts. We had Triple H defeat Dolph Ziggler. And we had Neville defeat Chris Jericho.
Sort of a letdown main event post there being
Yeah.
Triple H Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah. The ultimate main event was a face-to-face with Shane, Vince, and The Undertaker.
Which was done just to set up the fact that there's going to be a face-to-face on SmackDown between all three members of the Divas Championship Triple Threat match.
Indeed.
Thanks for agreeing with me on a totally false fact.
Hashtag false facts.
If you say it with enough confidence, I think you're right.
I know.
You told me that 2 days ago. So yeah, I mean, considering how much happened, not a lot happened at the same time.
Realize until you went over everything. It's like, oh, that was it?
Ryback defeated Sin Cara to send another message to Kalisto, and then he challenged him for a U.S. title match at WrestleMania.
But didn't wait around for Kalisto to answer.
No, it's just like, hey, fight me.
Kalisto was too worried about Sin Cara.
One tends to worry about their tag team partner.
I would hope so. Sami Zayn versus The Miz. Miz ended up losing due to a distraction by Kevin Owens on the outside.
Yeah, that was...
Okay, and it was weird because Kevin Owens actually attacked The Miz, and I think his intention was possibly to get Sami Zayn disqualified.
Sami Zayn did his flippy dive.
Yeah,
and the commentary, they were like, "Oh, that was impressive." And Owens was like commentary, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll show you impressive." And he went over to beat up The Miz.
Yeah, he shoved The Miz.
To show them impressive.
And then Miz was in the corner, and Kevin Owens distracted him. That allowed Sami to hit the haluva kick. So we're building up that match. Don't know if... I'm guessing they're just going one-on-one now because they didn't have Neville involved.
Maybe.
But,
knows?
But now Neville does have a win over Chris Jericho, who is a 9-time Intercontinental Champion.
And The Miz is involved, so there could be him in that match, too.
Yeah, so there's...
everybody's hitting everybody.
All sorts of possibilities.
I'm not sure what's happening there. Team Bad versus Team Bella was... more of Lana getting on Bree's nerves. She actually tried to get into the ring, which allowed Naomi and Tamina to hit a double team on Bree. Alicia Fox had already been taken out.
Yeah.
And then we had the backstage promo
where
it was Paige.
Yeah. Paige was just like, "Hey guys, I'm Paige. I'm still around." And Lana's like, "No, you're not." And
then Team Bad's like, "You got a problem?" And so you were saying that maybe a 6-diva tag?
Yeah.
Are you thinking at Mania?
Yeah.
Okay. So Paige, Alicia Fox, and Brie Bella taking on Lana, Naomi, and Tamina.
Or potentially Paige, Natty, and Brie Bella.
The other three are screwed.
Because I felt like this seemed like it was going straight in the direction of Brie Bella versus Lana one-on-one.
Yeah,
as Lana's debut.
Yeah, that's probably not strong enough to put on the media card,
and
especially considering the shape it's in right now.
Yeah, it's like my idea was maybe they're just getting as close to it. They're not as confident in Lana's in-ring ability since she hasn't had a match before.
Yeah.
It's because they never have somebody have their first match or only match ever at WrestleMania.
What, you think you're going to dance your way to WrestleMania?
I'm just talking, there's a lot of celebrities that wrestled at WrestleMania in the past 10 years. And that's, the only time they ever had a match. And
the celebrity thing went over my head. I went straight to Fandango.
Yeah.
Same. Usos versus Social Outcasts was more so just to build more heat between the Usos and the Dudleys. Because the Dudleys were a commentary for a second. And then they tried to distract the Usos, and it didn't work, and the Usos still won.
It just pissed the Usos off.
Yeah.
And made them splash them even harder.
Jimmy splashed Bo even harder than he normally would.
Yeah.
He extra
It
grabbed
took an
himself.
awkwardly long time to splash him because the Dudleys were on the top of the ramp to distract him. He was like looking up there for like a minute.
He's just, what are you gonna do?
Here comes save Bo.
Yeah. No? Alright. I'm a splashing. You watching? Here I go.
This actually ended up leading to something, and I don't know if either of you guys saw it, but they had Renee Young announce on the WWE Facebook page that there's going to be the Usos versus the Dudleys.
At
Okay.
WrestleMania?
I think, pretty sure at WrestleMania. I didn't watch the whole video.
In a tables match?
No. Actually, that was the thing a lot of people were complaining about, is that there was no like added stipulation on the match.
Like, it should be,
Well,
like, I think
Still got a week, so.
I think the Usos should lobby for it to be a tables match. That way we get the Dudleys going, no, we don't use tables anymore. We're not going to do a
use
tables
ladders
match.
now.
We're the hard boys. Yeah, Neville versus Jericho didn't go very long either. And it was kind of an awkward disqualification.
Yeah.
Jericho decided to
None
rough
of
up
us
Charles
actually
Robinson.
saw it.
Yeah. No, like
he put his hands on Mini Mage.
Yeah.
I think it wasn't even anything big. He probably just like shoved him or something from the way it was.
Yeah. Well, and the commentators were putting it over. They're like, "Oh yeah, Charles Robinson. He needed to disqualify Jericho. He didn't have another option." And then Jericho just kind of taunted the crowd and made them chant AJ Styles before AJ came out and hit the phenomenal forearm.
I still think it should be the phenomenal arm.
I'm sure. I'm going with Kevin Owens. It should be the Styles Crash.
Hey, I forgot about that, but I like it better than my own suggestion.
Kevin Owens tweeted it. It's got to be good. So we'll talk about the two best matches by far. New Day versus League of Nations actually opened Raw.
Yeah.
And this was stemming from the fact that the New Day beat Sheamus and Barrett this past Saturday at Roadblock. We had Del Rio and Rusev actually challenged the New Day to another match. Kofi was actually the corner man this time.
Stemming off the fact that he broke his shoulder.
I don't think he broke his shoulder.
Broke his shoulder.
He broke his shoulder. Kofi.
He did fucking fall awkwardly when he was trying to leapfrog over Sheamus.
Kofi was a little messed up, so we had Xavier Woods and Big E.
Freebird rule.
Yeah, they're really putting over the Freebird rule, which I think you were talking about the rumor that of what's going to happen, which actually ended up happening, we started to set it up in a post-match promo. But yeah, no, it was, I like the fact this is a good spot for
and
the
it helps
League
that
of
the
Nations.
Freebirds are getting inducted into the Hall of Fame this
Yeah,
year.
so they can really put it over. I like the spot for the League of Nations. This is a good spot for them. They don't need to be any higher or any lower. This is a good spot for them. I think the revolving.
I think Sheamus could be lower.
Well, that's your personal bias.
I'm saying.
Barrett could be higher, Sheamus could be lower.
I think Del Rio could be lower, but he's my.
It could go Barrett and then Rusev and then Del Rio and then Sheamus.
No, I want Del Rio below Sheamus.
Okay, they can be both at the bottom. It could be.
They could be
Barrett,
a jobber tag.
It could be
team.
Barrett.
They could be jobbing to Ryback on a weekly.
Look,
Let's
Barrett.
do that.
It'll be Barrett, then Rusev, then Blank, then Sheamus and Del Rio.
Who's blank?
Just no.
What nation is blank?
From Blankopia.
I've never heard of that nation.
You haven't heard the national anthem of Blankopia?
No, please sing it for us.
Hail, hail, Blankopia, a land I didn't make up.
Seems legit. All right.
Blankopia in the Olympics this year.
Yep. Rusev actually ended up making a mistake. He tried to grab Kofi from the outside, which allowed Xavier Woods to roll him up and get the win.
And then
The League of Nations threw in the biggest, longest, most awkwardly long beatdown we've had in a long time.
It was like, we didn't already have enough heat on these guys. Let's just piss people off more. Because the New Day is officially face now.
Yeah.
There's no denying that. They are officially a face tag team.
I mean, they were about as face as you could get for being heels to begin with.
Yeah, so they're just like, all right, we'll flip it. It's very much the way last year they were, like, booed
They're
out of the
trying to be faces,
they were
but-
booed out of
Yeah.
the fucking building being faces, and now they're being cheered for being heels. So let's kind of make them faces so people like them for a good
Yeah.
reason. So it works. But yeah,
I'm
then
not sure how I feel about a face New Day. I'll have to see how this plays out.
they did all right tonight.
Yeah,
I mean,
but I mean, in the long run, WWE has
see where it goes.
WWE has a habit of taking a really hot heel, turning them face, and then kind of running it to the ground.
Yeah.
Thinking conspiracy or truth is where my mind's going.
The only thing I'll
Or
say.
Mrs. God awful face run.
Oh, fuck that. No one remembers that. I think the only thing I'll say against
Thanks
that
for
is
saying
that
no one.
you're from Blankopia, bro.
Oh, God. I'm from, like, literally 5-minute walk from here.
Yeah, Blankopia. It's down the street. No, I think with the fact that New Day has as much creative control as they do about what they do, I don't think they'll allow the gimmick to get run into the
Yeah.
ground.
But it's just I'm just taking a wait and see attitude on it.
Yeah. But yeah, the League of Nations would then throw out the challenge for a tag team title match at WrestleMania, and the rumor being is that it's going to be a trios match,
Yes.
making it the Freebird rule, 3 people on either side vying for the tag team titles. So that could be interesting.
Yeah.
Would the 4th member of the League of Nations be involved?
They would be the referee.
Not a
New Day's
fair,
going to lose.
not quite a fair stipulation then.
But who would the New Day get to be in their corner?
Tyler Breeze.
Francesca 3.
The new Pretty Day.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Because Tyler Breeze backed them up in dodgeball, so.
Check that out on WWE Game Night.
Yeah.
Alright, so then...
Can we talk about Dean Ambrose trying to take Brock Lesnar's head off?
Yes, so Dean Ambrose came out and addressed what happened at Roadblock, saying, I tried, I failed, I live and die by my sword, but now Triple H understands that you can't underestimate me. So, moving on to WrestleMania, Brock Lesnar needs to know that he can't underestimate me either. And he goes up. What are you?
What?
You're smiling. That's never a good...
I'm just laughing, or I'm excited about what comes next.
Okay.
Not this current portion,
But
the
what
next
happens later.
Yeah.
Following portion.
Yeah. So yeah, he talks for a few more seconds, and then Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar come out, and Paul Heyman starts putting over the...
Paul says something very significant that comes around in a few minutes about how he's the only thing keeping Brock Lesnar in check.
Yep. If he wasn't there, Brock Lesnar would be tearing Dean Ambrose apart. And then talks about how at WrestleMania, that's exactly what Brock Lesnar's going to do in the no-holds-barred street fight against Dean Ambrose.
Is it no disqualification as well?
Probably. No, there's probably disqualification.
Oh, okay.
Makes sense in a no-holds-barred street fight. I think that's also the tag that they gave Cactus Jack versus Triple H at the Royal Rumble. I think it might have been a no-holds-barred street fight, so maybe that's the same kind of gist that they're going for. I don't know.
Maybe.
So does that mean somebody's getting stabbed in the leg?
Well, we'll talk about that when we get to that next segment.
Or Dean Ambrose stabbed someone in the leg.
Well, he was given a tool
With
to
a can opener.
Moving on.
Fan opener.
No, eventually
Fan opener.
Heyman says all he thinks he needs to say.
Yeah, and then he leaves.
Yeah, he bids everyone adieu. He walks away.
Lesnar starts to walk, but then he turns and realizes, wait, he's not here.
Nobody's stopping me anymore. So he starts storming his way to the ring, but Dean Ambrose has had his jacket zipped up this entire time. And there's a reason for that, because as Brock Lesnar makes his way down to ringside, Dean Ambrose reveals that he's been hiding a crowbar the whole time.
Then Paul Heyman materializes and tries to keep Brock Lesnar from getting back in the ring.
Yeah.
Whoosh, no Brock.
And Brock decides...
Did he appear out of... He's always...
Then he came out of the ground. Whoosh, Noob Saibot style. No Brock. No bra. on Brock.
But Brock realized, wait, what can Paul actually do to stop me? And so he just kind of kept going.
Yeah, it's not like I don't have like 95 pounds on this guy. So
That's pretty generous.
He
About
just
10 feet.
So he decides to try and jump up on the apron, but then he immediately jumps back down as Dean Ambrose swings the crowbar at his head.
Yeah, tried to take his head off.
And so, Brock kind of gives him that little smile, like, oh, yeah,
He almost killed me with the crowbar.
we'll see what happens at WrestleMania. Well, now we know that at WrestleMania, thanks to Mick Foley, Dean Ambrose will have a different type of weapon, going back to the stabbing in the leg, because in a way, Mick Foley would be passing the torch on to Dean Ambrose by giving him his very own Barbie.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about the doll.
Malibu Barbie.
Oh. No, baseball Barbie.
Barbie Hugh.
But now I want them to, like, decorate the barbed wire bat and call it Malibu Barbie.
That's only if you put one of Bray Wyatt's Hawaiian shirts in it.
Yeah.
Then it becomes Malibu Barbie. So yeah, it was...
Wouldn't that just make a Hawaiian Barbie?
Shut up, don't get technical. No, it was... I liked the segment with Mick Foley.
Crowd liked it too.
It was good, like, because in the most simple way, we had both of them understand each other.
Yeah.
Because Mick Foley, like, he's like, Dean, why are you going into this match? Like, what could possibly be the reason to be in this match? And Dean's like, well, when you were on top of the Hell in a Cell, why did you keep coming back? Why did you keep going up there? You were scared. Why did you keep going back up? And he's like, well, I'm Mick Foley. That's what I do. And he goes, well, I'm Dean Ambrose, and this is what I do. And Mick Foley's like, all right.
I try to kill people with crowbars.
Yeah. and Mick Foley was appreciative of the crowbar.
Yeah.
But he feels like Barbie is going to be a much more suited weapon to face Brock Lesnar.
The way
Brock Lesnar's
Mick
gonna
Foley
bleed
did
it.
it, he took the crowbar, looked at it, and then threw it off screen, and then gave him the present. I wish that Dean Ambrose opened up the present, got Barbie, and then after Mick Foley left, went and got the crowbar also.
He just walks into WrestleMania with both of them.
Yeah.
All right.
That can happen.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past. No, Dean Ambrose needs to bring out that bag of shit that he had to destroy the fake Seth Rollins mannequin.
He needs to bring back that hot dog cart.
Yeah, he just needs to have he needs to drive a car down to ringside with a trailer full of all the shit he's used in every promo he's ever done, and just start throwing it all at Brock.
I would have laughed if Foley gave him the present and he Foley grabs the crowbar and throws it, and then he gives Dean the present. Dean opens it and it's just another crowbar.
But this is a Mick Foley crowbar.
Yeah, this one's autographed by me, so it hurts more.
And then we had one segment that set up the other really good match of the night. We had Dolph Ziggler actually confronting the Authority, saying, you want to stand out here and say that, no one can stand up to the Authority. Well, I do that all the time, and Stephanie gets in his face.
He has one of the actually better track records against the Authority.
No, he's pretty good in this situation. And Stephanie puts him in another situation because she gets completely fed up with Dolph Ziggler's shit because he called her a tyrannical...
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
No, a tyrannical moronic woman, or Triple H's tyrannical moronic wife. And she didn't like that. She told Triple H to back the fuck up because
Dolph Ziggler spells nudes with 2 O's instead of a U.
I think you're the only one that's mad about that.
I never said I was mad about it.
Why do you keep bringing it up?
Because I think it's funny.
No. So Stephanie says, okay, if you want a match at WrestleMania, I'll give you any match you want, except for a match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. But
or against Dean Ambrose, or against Brock Lesnar, or against the New Day, or against the League of Nations, or against...
She didn't say any of that shit.
He could have asked for that.
Yeah.
He's going to ask for a match against all of them.
He's going to be in a handicap match
could've been
against Dean Ambrose and Brock Lesnar.
He could have been like, I want a match against Dean Ambrose after he has a match against Brock Lesnar.
I'm totally going to win. But he'd have to win his match on Monday Night Raw, and he would be facing Triple H.
And Triple H looked at Stephanie like, what?
Triple H is like, I haven't competed on Raw in like 3 years, woman.
What is wrong with you? But no, they had a fantastic match.
Yeah, awesome match. I like the fact, and like, I was excited to the fact that Triple H won the Royal Rumble. I was like, this is a good way to get Roman Reigns into the title picture that wouldn't completely be sucky or be too cookie cutter.
People still hate it. We're getting there.
I know. But with this idea is now we've seen Triple H in 2 matches that we wouldn't have previously ever seen him in.
Right.
Had it not been for this scenario.
Yeah, and a lot of people assumed since he didn't defend the title at Fastlane, he wasn't going to defend it until WrestleMania. Now he's defended it. Well, he didn't defend it against.
He defended it once.
Yeah, he defended it at Roadblock.
It's important that he.
But the fact that he's wrestled multiple times before WrestleMania is, I mean, that's one thing we didn't get with our last 2 champions. Like The Rock wrestled once.
Yeah.
Defended the title. Actually, no, he didn't even defend the title.
No, he won it and then.
Yeah. And so, the Rock.
Well, he won it and then he gave Punk his rematch.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He wasn't. That's right. I was mad because he wasn't in the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
They used the Elimination Chamber to announce the other #1 contender. So yeah. Okay. So he did. So The Rock did defend it once, and Brock defended it. I don't know. His reign was too fucking long. He didn't defend it enough times. But the fact that Triple H has been consistently on the shows, building this feud, and now wrestling 2 matches, like you said, we normally wouldn't get, and putting on a great show with Dolph Ziggler. And defeating Dolph Ziggler in a almost similar way to the way he beat Dean Ambrose at Roadblock.
Yeah.
Because Dean Ambrose Roadblock was about to get counted out and immediately got into the ring and got hit with the pedigree. Dolph Ziggler lasted a little bit longer, actually reversing the first pedigree and trying to get the advantage back, but ultimately suffering and getting hit with a second pedigree. Triple H picking up the win. Triple H celebrated for a second until Roman Reigns found the entryway, which was
confusing to Triple H.
Yeah, he was looking directly at the crowd, and all of a sudden he's like, oh, he's behind me.
Which Roman
They fought a lot.
Yeah.
I think Roman might have been confused too because he didn't take the opportunity to storm the ring when Triple H was looking the other way.
Yeah.
Roman was probably just like, how the fuck did I get here?
Roman comes out and he just goes, this is what an entrance feels like.
Like they told Roman Reigns, okay, when your music hits, you just need to go out there, you need to run down the ring and beat the shit out of Triple H. That's all you got to do. And he got to the top of the ramp. He goes, they want me to run down a 45-degree angle? Are they fucking kidding? There are no stairs.
He gets out, there's no stairs here. What do I do?
The fact that it was just one straight walkway, he was confused. But he did make his way down to the ring. He did beat the shit out of Triple H.
Yeah, starting with the slowest double leg takedown in history.
That was bad.
I didn't actually see it, so
I know.
It was bad.
Yeah,
it was bad enough for me to comment on it.
That's
As a double leg takedown.
That's true.
That takedown,
yeah.
though.
They ended up fighting to the back. Very.
Triple H was bleeding.
This was really fun to watch.
When did Triple H just? I all of a sudden looked up and
It started while they were fighting in the crowd.
I imagine that Triple H just randomly bladed like at some point.
And then Triple H starts hucking things at people,
And
Roman Reigns starts hucking people at Triple H.
Well, and Triple H. So Roman Reigns is taking out these fucking security guards like they're nothing, and then Triple H, he's like pushing like the laundry cart in the way and trash cans, and then he grabs one of the utility cases and throws it. And I think he broke a referee's foot. Because the referee's like, no, Triple H, don't do it, and then he like hops out of frame. He doesn't even come back into the situation. But we find ourselves over in some sort of backstage area.
Triple H grabs a chair to defend himself, and then Roman Reigns hucks a trash can at him.
Yeah, and that takes Triple H out of the game.
Takes Triple H out of the king. Oh, damn it.
That doesn't.
Yours was better.
Oh, Triple H fell over.
Well, it's because he's out of the cerebral. Oh.
No, it doesn't work either. So, Roman Reigns says, what's better than a trash can or a chair? I'm going to grab a TV, and I'm going to whack the shit out of Triple H. And he hit him once, and just smashed the shit out of the screen. It was falling apart. The Usos and Jack Swagger are trying to stop him from doing any further damage. And he's like, no, fuck this. I'm going to keep fighting. And then Mark Henry showed up, and Roman Reigns is like, I'm cool.
Yeah.
I'm cool. I'm done.
You big.
So, so we got some, the crowd still was shitting all over Roman Reigns. They did not give a fuck that he was back.
Well, I mean, they weren't really booing him once the fight really started.
I feel like that was the most time they were booing him because he was beating up Triple H.
No, I disagree.
Did I hear it wrong? I don't know.
I disagree because I think they were just into the fight. Like, they didn't really care.
Yeah, I think the fight may have turned it around a little bit.
It was
just for the fact that it wasn't like it was a fun
it was a legit fight.
Yeah. Like once they brought it out to the crowd and then went out to the back, that's when people started getting more into it.
Yeah, I felt like maybe they thought it was just going to be Roman Reigns runs in and saves the day, as opposed to Roman runs in and then they fight all over the arena. Which that should have been the main event. I'm just saying that should have been how the event closed.
Yeah, the ending wasn't very strong,
No.
which is really sad that we've had two really weak segments with The Undertaker.
Yeah.
This bothers me a lot.
I really like this match. I don't like the way they're building it.
No. And Shane fumbled with his words.
Yeah, that was fun.
Which really kind of killed the promo right away.
It set the tone for what would be a lackluster finish to the show.
You're going to swing and I'm going to miss. You're going to miss.
We're all going to miss.
And he tried to recover and say that pretty much whatever Undertaker throws at him, he's going to throw it back. But then the Undertaker's like, it's not going to be enough.
Undertaker did not do his best scary voice this promo either.
No, it's not scary voice anymore. It's just old man Undertaker voice.
He just sounded like smoker grandma voice.
Well, I like
it's not going to be enough.
Shane McMahon's theory. Shane McMahon's theory in this match all revolves around the fact that Undertaker's much older than him. Basically, because just to break down everything Shane was saying was basically like, I'm just gonna not stop moving until you're out of breath.
Yeah.
He said that in a very long-winded and confusing sort of way. And then Vince tried to butt in, and Undertaker didn't like that very much. And then Shane ended up getting chokeslammed. And then Vince got scared out of the ring by the Undertaker.
Yeah.
So Undertaker,
fastest Vince has moved in years.
The weirdest part about this is that Undertaker is literally doing what Vince told him to do.
Yeah.
But he's telling Vince to fuck off.
They would fix this so well. They just need the Undertaker to come out and say it like this, because I think this is what they're trying to imply, but they haven't directly stated. That Undertaker doesn't care about this Vince versus Shane thing. He just has an opponent at WrestleMania, and he's gonna win the match.
Yeah.
That's all he's concerned with.
Yeah, because it was implied.
Yeah.
With Shane saying, "Oh, you're just Vince's bitch now."
Yeah.
And
there's always at least one person that calls somebody a bitch before either WrestleMania or SummerSlam.
It was nice to have the Undertaker get called a bitch, though.
That's what made him fucking yank the microphone out of Vince's hand. And Vince was like, but that was my microphone.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that to the Undertaker.
Yeah,
Stone Cold might have said son of a bitch in passing the promo.
It's probably happened before, but not for the last 16 years.
No, I'm saying, I think someone said son of a bitch or used bitch in a promo talking about Taker. I don't think anyone has
Stone Cold
ever
used son of a bitch in every single one of his promos.
I don't think anyone ever said, Taker, you're a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, or not specifically even that he's a bitch. He's somebody else's bitch.
Yeah,
He's taking it in the butt from Vince. Basically.
God. He's being victimized by Vince McMahon.
But the point of the point, going back to the point, like if they just explained that Taker just cared that he has a match against at Mania and he doesn't care who it's against. If he's just doesn't want Shane to win because he's loyal to Vince because he's been one of the most loyal employees of all time. If they came up with some reason why Undertaker's,
Well, I like it. Undertaker is one of the old guys. So if you have Shane McMahon saying he's going to bring in all this young talent, that's going to shy away from having the Undertaker on TV. So he should have
Taker's precious TV time that he's had so much of.
Hey man, he had 4 matches last year.
He's clamoring to the camera.
So I don't know. It's the match is exciting. The build not so much.
Yeah. Well, it just makes me mad because there's so many unanswered questions and so many ways they could go about addressing it, but they're just working under the assumption that Undertaker's enough.
Yeah, it's Undertaker and Vince's back, or Shane's back, so it's totally that's all we need.
Maybe
but we still got like 2 more weeks till WrestleMania, so we'll see if they can pull together some good build in the next couple weeks. But that is it for the Raw review. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Share it too.
Yeah, share it with your friends and your enemies. Share it with somebody.
Yeah.
Post it on your Facebook. Someone will watch.
Click all the links because there's lots of.
Post it on other people's Facebooks.
Yeah.
Yeah, just start sharing us on strangers' Facebooks.
Yeah.
And you can share us on any of the social medias
Send
down
this
there.
video to your grandma.
Yeah, maybe your grandma's into Vince McMahon, right?
Maybe.
He's 70.
Daddy jackhammer.
Bell chicken. Wow.
Get your grandma laid.
By Vince McMahon.
I think Linda might have an issue with that.
Get your grandma laid by Linda. Whatever. Who cares?
Oh man.
I'm not gonna judge.
Post down in the comments.
Bell chicken. Wow again.
Post down in the comments what you think about the build towards WrestleMania. What do you think about the New Day's official face turn match and the awkwardly long beatdown by the League of Nations? What do you think about Dean Ambrose and Mick Foley setting up some more fun that we're gonna? Brock Lesnar's gonna bleed so much at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that segment. I love, just my theory on that segment is because we've had so much accidental bleeding in the last 6 months.
Brock Lesnar.
I'm just gonna start off saying Cena's nose getting obliterated by Seth Rollins.
Oh yeah.
Anytime Brock Lesnar has a match. Anytime Brock Lesnar shows up, basically.
Triple H tonight on Raw.
Yeah, Triple H tonight on Raw. Triple H beating up Roman Reigns 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So, with all of this happening, all this, blood being accidental or not, having Dean Ambrose pull a barbed wire covered baseball bat out of a box was basically WWE going, you know that no blood thing we've been doing for a while? Fuck it.
Indeed. Thanks for watching. Check out the playlist because there's going to be more videos coming up this week. Did you have something to say?
All I'm saying is grandmas like to have sex too.
Okay. Thanks for watching. Check out the playlist. More videos coming this week. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at whatever video you decide to watch next.
Hey, grandmas. He's single.
Hey grandmas. Fuck Shames.
And Alex Riley?
And Linda McMahon.
Pow.